Good morning. This is the announcement for the week of October the 22nd through the 28th. So this week you have one chapter due in Excel, performing calculations with formulas and functions. Click on the overview page first. So you're going to learn how to use some formulas that are actually really used for what-if analysis and quick analysis that will help you make business decisions. Very important function formulas and other tools that you'll use in business. So this is an important chapter. Be sure first you read over the course and the chapter objectives so you know what is expected of you at the end of this chapter. Start out with reading the chapter. I know many of you skip that part, but it would be really helpful for you if you would read the chapter, highlight some of the important formulas that you've run across in the chapter because you know you'll need to come back to them, take notes as needed. And it will make everything else easier for you in the chapter. You'll do the training. This is where you learn the tasks that are associated with the project. So you learn the tasks individually and then you put them together in a project. And then, of course, you have the project to do. Here's where you read the chapter, and you can access any chapter from any read icon where you can click on it. Here's where you do the training. And finally, the project. I'm just going to download the instructions in the Excel spreadsheet so we can look at a couple of things that might help you. Okay, first of all, you need to save the spreadsheet. And that's should be second nature to you by now, but be sure that you know where you save it. I always save mine to my desktop for quick upload. And be sure you number it correctly at the end. Otherwise, it will not let you upload it, or it'll give me an error message that someone has tried to cheat. So be sure that you do name it appropriately. Once you've done that, the first instruction, they want you to move to the Orders tab. And in cell A2, they want you to type the now function to put today's date. So equals now, left and right parentheses. Notice I didn't capitalize it, even though it usually capitalizes the function formulas. It's not case sensitive, so it will capitalize it for you. Notice it put it in all caps for me, even though I didn't type it that way. The next thing they want you to do, and this is on cell 06. Cell 06 has an absolute formula in it. And what that means is when it has dollar signs in front of the cell references, you can see them in the formula bar. And what that means is when I fill down, it's going to keep it at exactly B6 minus M6. It's not going to change it to B7 minus M7, B8 minus M8, and so on. So when it's an absolute formula, then all the numbers down will be the same. Well, that is not what they wanted. So they've asked us to remove the absolute part, so the dollar signs from the reference. And that one will still be 1408, but when you use the fill handle to copy it down. Notice they all change this time because it's no longer an absolute formula, but it's a relative formula relative to the cell that we copied it to. Okay, then in cell P6, they want us to do a minimum. And again, you don't have to put it in all caps. It'll do it for you. And it's the range B6 to M6. So go up here and B6, going across, select them to M6 and enter. And it's 305 is the minimum ordered. And then they want that filled down as well. And that takes us through instruction 3. So in instruction 4, in cell B12, they want us to put a nested formula. So click on cell B12. And the nested formula is they're going to use an average formula and they want us to round it. And so what you do is you type the equals, round, and then average. Helps if you spell it right. So what I've done is I'm going to round the average and then left parenthesis, and I'm doing B6 to B9. Right parenthesis and a comma and tell it what to round it to, and it's 0. So what you're going to do last is on the outside of the nested formula. So you're going to average it, and that's on the inside, and then you're going to round the average. So average of B6 to B9, and you're going to round it to 0. And that's why that's on the outside. And it's 169, and then fill that one across as well. A little bit more difficult type formula, but you just have to think it through logically. Sometimes with formulas, it's best to either write them down on a sheet of paper as you think them through, and then check them with your book, because they've given you formulas in your book and videos also in your training. So be sure you look back at those if you need to. The rest of the formulas that you'll be using in this chapter are very important because they are formulas that help us to do what-if analysis, such as goal seek and creating, let's see, you're also going to create a VLOOKUP function. So those you've looked at in the book, so be sure you refer back to the book and ask questions if you have any. I look forward to hearing from you this week and hope you have a great week.